Hello, Capricorn, and welcome to your May 2021 astrological chat. Thank you for joining me here on Gift of Astro Gab. And looking at May, it's looking very, very tranquil at the beginning of the month. You know, and towards the middle of the month, there is a shift. There's a shift in the wind, which is towards more exciting end of the month. And it's not exciting bad, it's exciting good. It's exciting for better movement, for growth. It's the first month that we see real movement towards some big changes, and not that we haven't had changes throughout the year, because as we can see, we have had a lot of movement forward. But yes, May looks pretty dynamic. And entry into a dynamic summer as well after this. So for you guys, it's looking very, there's elements of creativity and family and home and day-to-day life, some relationship as well. If you're in the dating zone, some of that as well. But yeah, so why don't we jump into your month? Okay, Capricorn, so on May 2nd, to start it off, we have Mercury in Taurus, and it's trining Pluto in Capricorn. Now, Mercury, the communicative planet of Mercury in your 5th house, there's a stimulating energy there. There's a lot of stimulation in this creative zone for you. Or if you have children, there's a lot of creativity coming from them. Or maybe it could also be the fun you're having in a dating life, in a dating situation. But it's giving you this free-flowing energy that's restructuring you. It's like transforming you. Pluto is there in your 1st house, and it's been transforming you, but this is giving you like the wonderful free flow of energy, and it's revitalizing you, and that's really great, because you guys have needed that. You've needed to feel like a new person, and I think this is giving you that kickstart. Now, on the 2nd as well, we have Venus in Taurus sextiling, which is a beneficial working aspect. It's a beneficial aspect, but it's not as free flowing as trine. It could be just as beneficial. It's just like, but you have to take some kind of action. But it's very inspired. There's a lot of ease in it, and this is between Venus and Taurus, and in your 5th house, and Neptune and Pisces. In your 3rd house. So you have like this love for creativity, or this date. Let's say your dating life is giving you this all this love energy, and it's really benefiting your communications, and it can even be benefiting your business, your commerce, your day-to-day. Can be giving you this really good energy to carry out your short distance travels and all that kind of things, like day-to-day interactions as well. Now, on May 3rd at 10:49 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 7:49 p.m. Pacific Time, we have Mercury entering Gemini. And Mercury loves to be in Gemini because that's its home. Now, that's happening in your 6th house. That's later on in the day, but earlier in the day, right before it enters Gemini, Mercury in Taurus is squaring Jupiter in Aquarius. Now, remember, squares are the aspect that creates a little friction, but it's like a nudge for growth. And for, if we didn't have squares, we would have no growth. It's like lifting weights. We'd have no muscle. We couldn't move. And muscle is very good and very beneficial. But at first it could be a little bit like an alarm clock, and it's waking you up from your wonderful sleep. But it's for you to get your day started, for you to get up and start working. And Capricorns, you guys, for the most part, have a joy for that, a joy for work, a joy for discipline. So this is good. Now, this square is happening between Mercury and Taurus in your 5th house and Jupiter and Aquarius in your 2nd. So there's playful communication, a creative communication, and it's speaking to an expansion that's happening in your with your values, with your material goods, with your finances. So where can you strike a balance or grow in conjunction using your communication, your creative communication, and your expanding finances? So, make sure that you're putting your value and putting your investment into, make sure you're not forgetting the creative aspect, and you're working with your creativity and your financials in a way that is balanced. And this is really good for the 3rd. Now, on the same day, we have a vitality coming from that 5th house of creativity. So you have all this energy, this creative ability, but sometimes we can feel a little bit like Saturn Aquarius in your 2nd house is like, okay, you have this vitality, but let's structure our finances, let's structure our values, let's structure how we value ourselves so that it can work in the best way with this free-flowing creativity that we have. So it's kind of like, just hold on for a second, let's make sure everything's structured and so that the expansion can happen, or maybe your finances are structured and they're expanding, but you have to be like, let's make sure we have the right creative flow here to make everything grow well. Now on May 5th, which is Cinco de Mayo, and that's happy Cinco de Mayo. I hope you guys are celebrating or have celebrated in a great way with your friends and just having a great time. Now on that day, May 5th, we have at 1:13 a.m. East Coast time, which is 12, so that's 12, 11, 10 p.m. Pacific time, sorry. I'm thinking on the spot here, I'm trying, guys. And we have Jupiter in quintile with Uranus. And that's between your 2nd and your 5th house. So the quintile is like it's an aspect of, some may have anxiety with it, or some may have excitement. Now, we can transform anxiety to excitement very easily, and it just takes a thought, Just get yourself more pumped up for whatever energy you're anticipating. And in this case, between that 2nd house and that 5th house, so again, your values and your creativity, your finances and your creativity. And the 5th house is also children, so whatever I talked about earlier between the 5th house and any other house, you could also replace the children, meaning like communications with children and your finances, and like how is it working together? Are they communicating and really trying to get you to buy something, and you're like, well, the money's flowing, but we got to structure this, so things like that. Now, but with this energy, you're kind of like, there's an expansion in your finances, and it could be your children, if you have children, being revolutionary, being like a little bit rebellious and saying like, we need this, we need that, or we want this, and you're kind of like, well, okay, let's expand on that, but like you're a little bit apprehensive because, it hasn't always been there, that energy to expand. So, and that could also be, 5th house is also like your playtime as an adult, your dating life. It's, are you wondering like, okay, this dating life is getting stimulated like big time. So how can I like expand and expend money in a beneficial way towards that? Now on the 6th, we have Venus in Taurus, trining Pluto in Capricorn. That's between your 5th and your 1st house. And that's where, there's a creative loving flow flowing very well with a transformation that's happening in you. So again, like we said during the second, it's carrying the same message, but even further. So all this love coming from your dating life, or from your children, or from just playful energy in general, creative energy, and it's really transforming you. It's the love you're receiving is transforming you literally. This is really beautiful. Now on May 6th, again, at 1:33 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 12:11 a.m. May 6th as well, but that's Pacific Time. We have the North Node, and it's sextiling Chiron. Now, the North Node is that's a feeling of destiny, like I'm going towards something, like there's something fated and wonderful here. And it's sextiling Chiron, which is the wounded healer in astrology. Now, Chiron, that's like, it can be where you're healing, where you're finding resolution to a trauma or to something you've been dealing with. And Capricorn, you're finding this, it's between your 6th and your 4th house, and this healing aspect. You are finding healing coming from the home. You're finding healing coming from family or just your literal home, being home. You're finding a lot of, it's like a therapy for you, and it's helping to heal your day-to-day life so that it's helping you flow freely in your day-to-day life and to have that energy and inspiration in your routine or in your health, because 6th house is also health. So you're inspired and you're healing from home, and it's helping you with your health, with your routine, and that's a very wonderful thing. So there could literally be also like healing happening in your body with this kind of aspect. Now on May 8th, we have at 4:51 a.m. East Coast time, which is 3:01 a.m. Pacific time. We have nurturing Ceres, the asteroid in astrology, and it's entering Taurus in your 5th house. So yes, there is like this Ceres asteroid which represents agriculture in mythology, and it's just this idea of seasonal growth. Now, like the spring coming forward. So in this case, it's in your 5th house. So you're feeling like the springtime in your creativity, your springtime in your dating life. If you're single, if you have kids, you're feeling like good things are coming to them, like they're being nurtured and nourished. That's a very wonderful thing for a parent as well, because it nurtures you. Now, on May 8th, we have at 10:01 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 9:07 p.m. Pacific Time, we have Venus entering Gemini. Now, Venus does very well in Gemini. It loves to be there, and that's in your 6th house. So again, we have this theme where you're getting a lot of beneficial energy for your health, for your routine, for your day-to-day. It could be a job, because jobs very often are like routine, they're day-to-day. So yeah, this looks very beneficial for you guys. On the next day, May 11th, we have Mars in Cancer sextiling Uranus in Taurus. This is between your 7th and your 5th house. Now, Mars in Cancer is very nurturing, very take action towards nurturing someone, or in this case, it's your partner. If you have a partner, or it's partnerships in general, one-on-one relationships. So that nurturing in these relationships is being a great benefit to a revolution that's happening either if you have children with your children, or a revolution that's happening if you're single with your dating life. Electric energy, kind of revitalized energy having to do with your creativity if you're in a creative field. This makes sure to nurture your relationships, and it's going to really help that creativity flow in you as well. And on the same day, along with this amazing electric nurturing energy, we have the new moon in Taurus. That's happening in your 5th house as well. And this is at 3 p.m. Eastern time, and which is 2, 1, 12. So it's noon, May 11th, Pacific time. In your 5th house is you're putting these new seeds of growth into the ground, so to speak. You're implementing new intentions of growth, creatively, and or you could literally be planning to have a child as well, or doing work towards that, or planning in the future, with that being the 5th house, or you're planning dates, or you're planning, just events with your children, if you have children, that kind of thing with the 5th house there, or you're just having new growth in your own creativity. Now, on the 12th, we have Mercury in Gemini trining Saturn in Aquarius. That's between your 6th and your 2nd house. Now, Mercury is in your 6th house, zooming through. It's very fast-moving energy, very zippy energy, and it's in its home, so it's very comfortable, and it's trining, benefiting Saturn Aquarius in your 2nd house, so the structures, your financial structures. So you have all this energy in your day-to-day life or in your health routine, and it's really, it seems very logical. It's helping you with your finances because it's productivity. You're being very productive here, and you're building upon the structures you've made financially and all that. So that's very good for you, Capricorn. And I see you guys loving that, and that's wonderful. Now, on May 13th at 6:36 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 3:36 p.m. Pacific Time, we have Jupiter, the planet of expansion, the planet of benefit, the planet of travels and higher learning, entering Pisces, dreamy, imaginative, boundless constellation Pisces. And this is in your 3rd house. So when these two get together, oh my gosh, it's very expansive, very, I could say lucrative, because these two are like, they just want to go all out and make things happen. So that's in your 3rd house of kind of like business, business, commerce, day-to-day exchanges, interactions, communication. It could be short distance travel, or like if you're buying a new car, you're like, whoa, I really want to buy, like, I want to go big with this purchase. And it's like, go ahead and do it. I would say like maybe early in the month, or if not, wait maybe until after June, because Mercury will be going retrograde. But yeah, so this energy really wants you guys to expand in that 3rd house. So now on the 13th, the same day, we have the Sun and all its vitality, and it's in Taurus, sextiling Neptune in Pisces. This is between your 5th and 3rd house. So all this energy you have for dating, or from, if you have children, coming from your children, this playful, wonderful vitality, or if it's in your creativity, it's very, it's a big boost for your communications and for your imagination and your communications and your creativity. It's a very creative feel, all of this, very playful, very artistic. If you're in an artistic field, this is a great day for imagination, for creating, or you could be traveling somewhere for a date or whatever. Now on the 17th, we have the Sun in Taurus, and it's trining Pluto in Capricorn. This is amazing. A trine's the most beneficial aspect. So the Sun in Taurus trining Pluto in Capricorn between your 5th and your 1st house. This is vitality and creativity with your children. If you're single, from a dating life, you're just feeling very creative, and it's really benefiting you. It's benefiting your transformation. So I see all this month so far being a very transformative month for you, yourself, your personality, things that are happening in your life, deep transformation, feeling like blessed that you're going through and getting all this love. So on May 19th, 3:12 p.m. Eastern Time, or noon, which is literally 12:12 here, 12:12 p.m. Pacific Time, we have not a full moon. We have a moon at its 29th degree, which is at a very energetic degree, and it's in your 8th house. So on this day, you could be really digging deep on something. With all this creative energy, maybe you're digging deeper on a creative endeavor, or just thinking about, you know, big topics. Or it's also the house of taxes, so maybe you're doing your, well, I mean, it's a little bit late, but maybe you made an extension and you're like, wow, I need to really do my taxes. Or it's other people's resources. You're thinking deeply about other people's resources and how, you know, you can be creative and use it for your creativity as well, and for maybe business. So on the 19th as well, we have Venus in Gemini, and it's trining Saturn in Aquarius. That's between your 6th and your 2nd house. So you're getting all this, like, all this good energies from your day-to-day life, from your health routine. You're feeling great, and it's really benefiting and pushing forward again the structures in your finances, the structures in your value sets. Maybe you're buying things for the home, or just for yourself, to make you feel even better, or structuring your finances to benefit your routines. Now on May 20th, we have at 3:37 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 12:37 p.m. Pacific Time, we have the Sun entering Gemini. The Sun is, I feel like it would be very happy in Gemini, and it's in your 6th house, adding to all this kind of day-to-day health routine, all that stuff, which, I mean, who wouldn't want that, right, during this time? So on the next day, we have the Sun in Gemini squaring Jupiter in Pisces, and that's between your 6th and your 3rd house. So are you, there is a balance to be there's a balance to strike here between that 6th and 3rd house, because you're trying to expand, like, Jupiter in Pisces in that communication house. So you're making plans. It could be big plans because Jupiter's there. Big plans for, like, your communications. It could be like, I want to say it could be signing a contract, like, you know, I don't think it's a huge contract, but it could be because Jupiter's there. And, you know, you're questioning, like, in a big way, how can I make all this work? Like, how can I make my day-to-day life work with this in a way that will be, you know, in harmony? And you might have a little bit of a, wow, like, something is nudging. I'm, like, feeling two opposites coming together and saying, like, how can we work through and make this work? But I think the balance will come. Now on the 22nd, we have Mercury in Gemini, and it's squaring Neptune in Pisces, furthering this conversation. But with Neptune there, you're finding you may be a little confused. You may be a little bit in the dream. You know, you're kind of, you feel like you're on an ocean, and you're wondering, like, how can I communicate what I want my day-to-day life to be, or what I want, like, my business interactions to be. How can I communicate it correctly? How can I get the word across in an effective way to benefit me and to benefit this expansion I want in my business, in my day-to-day interactions, in my communications? Now on May 23rd, we have at 5:19 a.m. Eastern Time, which is 4:32 a.m. Pacific Time, Saturn's turning retrograde. I mean, that's the big guy. The big guy is going for a review. And that's in your 2nd house. So these are your finances, the finances that you make, the finances that you store, the values that come from you, the values that come of you, and or your material goods. So you're literally, it's kind of like doing your taxes. It's like you're revisiting their finances and, like, your financial structures, because Saturn is structure. So the analogy I like to use is like a water hose. Like, Saturn is like the gardener, and he is the master gardener, and he is like, you know, I feel like that there's less water pressure coming out from the sprinklers or from whatever, or from the end of the hose, and this isn't right. Like, it could be flowing better. So he goes and works out the kinks. So you're doing that in your financial life. You're saying, like, I've loved the structure, I've loved all the setup that I've made, but are there kinks in, like, the water sprinkler system that I can, like, either fix a leak, or, you know, if it's a hose, like, take out the bend in the hose, and so all of my financial flow can, you know, be like a a wonderful flood of benefit. But with structure there, it's not a flood that's going to, like, overtake. It's a flow that's going to be very efficient and very exact, and it's going to store many more benefits for you guys. It could be also with your home. Maybe you're working through, what do I want? What do I not want here? What's clutter? What's not clutter? And that's very great. That's amazing. So now on May 26th, we have at 7:14 a.m. Eastern Time, which is 6:54 a.m. Pacific Time. Many of us will be just waking up or still sleeping, depending on what time you wake up. And this for this huge event, the full moon total lunar eclipse, and that's in 5 Sag. That's in your 12th house, Capricorn. So you're all of a sudden, because you're so involved in your day-to-day, it looks like, and your finances and then some dating life and all this stuff, and then boom, your 12th house comes in, and it's like, how is all this affecting my spiritual life? How is all this affecting my my meditations? Like, am I finding that peace in my day-to-day? And it just, like, pops out of nowhere, it seems like. It's like, wow, yeah, I've been so focused on like, exterior things, and not that it's superficial, it's just, you're like, it's the hustle, you know, for our lives, and then boom, you find yourself, maybe you're crying in your car, and you're like, whoa, like, I need me time, I need reflection time, I need a retreat. And the full moon total lunar eclipse can be a little emotional, and it's telling you, like, where do you need to implement some more spiritual practices, or meditative, or get out there in nature and run, or do something that connects you with, I could say, the divine, or, like, with God, and however you define it. And you're asking yourself this, and it's coming up in a big way, because the total lunar eclipses, they're like full moons on steroids, and it's kind of pushes things to the surface, and then you say, with regards to my spiritual life, my deep creativity, my my meditation, and, like, what can I leave behind, and what do I need to add? Do I have too much or too little? And that's important. So on the 27th, we have Venus in Gemini, and it's squaring Neptune in Pisces. This is between your 6th and your 3rd house. Now, honestly, I feel like I like these squares because they're points of reflection, they're nudges, and, things are, when you have those nudges and you have those wake-up moments, it's very, there's a lot of growth, and it's very special. It's happening for everyone, and I want you to know this, Capricorn, and it's just in different parts of our chart, which is different parts of our lives. And for you, it's in this one between 6th and 3rd house. So your day-to-day life again, and your communications are like, there's a loving planet there. So, and Neptune is also benefic. So it's like all these benefics are squaring. And when these benefics square, like this one, it's like two really nice people having a conversation that's difficult, but they're like, let's make this work. Like, let's really come up with creative ideas and make it work. And so this is between your 6th and 3rd house, saying, like, my business, how can I make it more day-to-day? How can I use creativity in my negotiations, in my, in my dream world, with my dreams? How can I communicate my dreams in a way that works in a loving way with my day-to-day activities? How can I fit it in? So that's, and with the 12th house, the lunar eclipse, you're like saying, And how can I fit in like meditative times, of quiet, times for myself, and make it all work. Now on May 29th, we have at 6:34 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 3:34 p.m. Pacific Time, Mercury is going retrograde. So this is, like I told you guys, there's a lot of action happening towards the end of the month, on literally like the last week. But Mercury retrograde in Gemini is like, yeah, it's Mercury retrograde. You know, people are always like, oh, glitches and technical difficulties and all that. But it's in its own sign, so it's like, it has all the tools it needs. It's in its home. So even if things do go haywire, I feel like they smooth out pretty quickly because of that. And that's in your 6th house. So with all this 6th house themes going on, you're actually reviewing here Mercury's plan of communication and like just like intricacies of plans and your structure in your day could be too. You're just reviewing like, how can I make it work better? Now on the 29th, again, we have Mercury in Gemini, which is retrograde, conjunct Venus in Gemini in your 6th house. So with Venus there, it adds to the comfort of Mercury being in its home. It's like having a helper, a loving helper saying, hey, you know, like, I know you're doing all this review, but here, let me make you some coffee. Let me make some tea. Let me rub your back. You know, so it really smooths out any kinks or any issues that may come up technically or whatever, or planning your day and reviewing how you structure your days and or your health routine as well, because 6th house is health. So you're also reviewing your health. But Venus is there giving a loving, nurturing boost. So let's say you go to the doctor, whatever, and they review and they say, okay, well, it looks like this is going on, but it's no big deal. It's actually and it's good that you came in, and you know, it's like, this is going to benefit you so much because we're just going to work it out and make you way more healthy. And so finally, on the last day of the month, ending on a high note, we have nurturing Mars in Cancer, trining Neptune in Pisces. That's in your 7th house and between your 7th and your 3rd. So I'm sorry, guys, if you guys hear barking and howling in the background. I can't help, and it's just my neighbors, their environment, their dogs, they go crazy. And hopefully your dogs aren't going crazy, or you don't have neighbors with crazy dogs, but that's just an aside. Now, back to your last day of the month. We have nurturing Mars in Cancer, trining Neptune in Pisces. That's between your 7th and your 3rd house. So your relationships are nurturing you, and they're giving you a lot of support, a lot of flowing support to your communications, to your could be to your business, to be your business interactions. 7th house is also partnership, so you're getting like a really good action, really good deals from, you know, day-to-day interactions, and things are flowing very well because you're also using your imagination to make those interactions work really well, and it's flowing very well for you guys. So yeah, with that, I would love to see you guys here in June. Please comment, share, subscribe, like, all those wonderful things. Really thank you guys for joining me here for the May astrological chat. And yeah, I wish you guys a wonderful month. And as everything warms up, please stay cool. And yeah, thank you so much.